Alright, after hours confession time. I don't actually hear the they only had muskets argument much in the shop.
Well, that's because most of the folks who walk in here are already pro-gun, and they already hate that argument.
Exactly, because what it really implies is that our rights are chained to 18th century technology and 18th century life.
Which is wild, because people saying that are usually saying it on the internet.
On a smartphone, on social media, with or without video.
So, by their own logic, shouldn't free speech also be muskets only?
Right. No internet, no TV, no podcasts, no YouTube, just pamphlets and quill pens.
And that's why this topic matters, because, not just because we're trying to win a comment section online, but because it's an uneducated stance that keeps getting repeated.
And if you're going to have strong opinions about firearms, especially constitutional rights, you should be willing to learn the history. Welcome back to the Armor's Block. I'm Hootie, lead gunsmith at Blue Coat Arms Company.
And I'm Lydia, co-owner, ops manager, and the person who has to listen to him go down historical rabbit holes at 10:55 at night.
Hey, at least it's before midnight this time.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And tonight, we're talking about the idea that the Founding Fathers couldn't have imagined repeating firearms, higher capacity, faster rates of fire, or, any of it.
Spoiler alert, they actually could. And not only could they imagine it, some of them were actively involved in pursuing firearm technology forward.
All right, so question of the day. 2 lanes like always. Day 1 tip. What's your go-to calm way to correct gun misinformation without starting a brawl at the family reunion?
And new shooter question. What's one gun term you have heard? Assault weapon, high-powered, full semi-auto, whatever, that you're not sure is real or just internet speak.
Drop it in the comments or message us.
And if you start it with day 1 tip or new shooter question, it helps us sort them out.
So before we start throwing out dates and weird old gun names, because some of them are very weird, let's say this clearly. This episode is not about winning an argument online.
It's about being historically and factually accurate.
Right. Because if we can't even agree on what actually existed historically, then we're not really having a real conversation.
And also, because this is important, when people say they couldn't have imagined it, what they're really saying is the Second Amendment only applies to technology of the moment.
And that's a huge claim.
So tonight, we're going to do 2 things. 1, define a few terms so we're not talking past one another. And 2, walk through real historical examples that existed before, during, and right after the Founders era. So first, terms, because this is where people get hung up. Assault rifle is a specific thing. Traditionally, select fire, intermediate cartridge, and detachable magazine. There is actually a whole military grade law that revolves around this concept, which you can actually find in our blog on the same topic.
Meaning that all these things, different topics and all that, mean it can switch between semi-auto and full auto?
Yes. Assault weapon is not a mechanical definition. It is a legal, political, and military category that changes depending on where you live, what year it is, and exactly which functions it has.
So when someone says assault weapon, they might mean a rifle that looks scary, or a rifle with a detachable mag, or anything synthetic and modern.
And then you've got semi-auto, which is 1 round per trigger pull.
Which, isn't that where a lot of modern rifles live?
Yes. So for this episode specifically, when we say Founding Fathers Assault Weapons, we are not claiming that George Washington had an AR-15.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
That would be epic. Someone should put that on a t-shirt.
Somebody probably has, if we're being honest. No, what we're saying is that the concept of increased firepower, repeating capability, and rapid follow-up shots existed, and that the Founding Fathers were well aware of it.
So, they only had muskets. Okay, but what else existed? Let's talk about examples.
So this is the part where people go, well, wait, what did exist then?
And quick note before we start. A lot of these early repeaters were not common, like a standard musket.
Although not common does not mean not known. The idea existed, the tech existed, and people were actively trying to improve rate of fire and reload speed.
So, first up, the Puckle gun, which was patented in 1718. Now, keep in mind, the Revolutionary War was 1776, and this gun was actively patented on American soil in 1718. That is decades before the Bill of Rights or the Second Amendment.
So, this gun, tripod mounted, flintlock, and it could fire multiple rounds without reloading like a standard musket.
Depending on the setup, you're talking about a much higher rate of fire than a typical infantry musket. Yes.
So right away, the idea of a faster than a musket is not new.
No. Then you've got the Kathloff repeater. 17th century magazine-fed system existed.
Not common, not mass issued, but still real.
And that matters because the argument isn't everybody had one. The argument is the concept existed and was well known. Now, we move on to one of my favorites. The Belton repeating musket of 1777. The Continental Congress looked at commissioning the Belton repeating muskets, which had multiple shots per loading.
And the reason that it didn't happen wasn't because it was too advanced or too dangerous.
It's like every other bureaucratic government decision. It cost too much.
Realistic and relatable. No. So, what is the most realistic and relatable reason in human history besides this?
Honestly, it costs too much. Because government contracts are run on the lowest bidder. And if the lowest bidder costs too much, they're just like, nope, not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, we move on to the Zerendoni air rifle of the late 1700s.
I'm not gonna lie, when you look at the spelling of this one, it looks like Giordano's, and now I kind of want pizza.
It's totally crazy. So the Zerendoni rifle is a multi-shot magazine fed, and it is quiet compared to black powder.
And that's the one people love bringing up because of Lewis and Clark.
Exactly. This wasn't some fantasy. It was actually used.
So here's the part that matters more than any single example that we have given so far.
The founders were not cavemen staring at a musket like it fell out of the sky.
They were Enlightenment era thinkers. They lived in a world of invention, printing presses, industrial innovation, trade, experimentation.
And many of them were inventors, tinkers, inventors, and builders.
So the idea that they wrote the Second Amendment thinking this will never change just does not match who they were.
If anything, they wrote it because they understood the true meaning of power, how it concentrates, how it can be abused, and how citizens need the means to protect themselves.
And you can hold that belief while still believing in safety, training, and responsibility.
100%. And here's where I'll bring it back to what we see every day. One day in the shop, I'm surrounded by black powder, reproductions, and antiques.
And then the next day, it's AR style rifles and modern pistols.
And right now, I've got this 1853 Snyder Enfield restoration that's been living in my head.
Because it's literally an example of a government pushing firearm technology forward.
Exactly. British Parliament pushed and financed the conversion of thousands of these Enfield rifles to Snyder's action so that they could be breech loaded and cartridge fed.
Again, meaning even back then, people were chasing faster loading, more efficient firing, and better capabilities.
The names change, the materials change, the overall principle does not.
So then, what do we do with all this knowledge?
We stop repeating the musket myth like it's fact.
And we start demanding better conversations be had.
Here's a simple way to say it. The founders knew that technology would change. Repeating firearms existed even back then. The principle wasn't muskets only. The principle was the right of the people.
And then, and this is the part that people tend to skip over, if you're going to have strong opinions about firearms, then you should in turn be willing to learn about firearms.
Exactly. You need to earn your opinion.
All right, so shop talk. Because some of y'all are listening like, cool, how do I say this without my uncle turning purple at the family reunion?
Facts.
Here are 3 ways to correct misinformation without lighting the room on fire. 1. Ask what they mean. When you say assault weapon, what do you mean mechanically? 2. Offer one historical example. Just one. Don't machine gun them with trivia, just give them one simple example. 3. Pair it with one modern responsibility point. That's why training and safe handling matter, because capability has always been a part of the story.
And if they're not interested in learning, that's your cue.
You don't have to win, you just have to be accurate.
So, quick repeat. Day 1 tip. What's your calm way to correct misinformation without starting a fight?
And new shooter question. What's one gun term you've heard that you want us to translate into plain English? All right, after hours bonus for the folks who hang around to the very end.
If you're going to have opinions about guns, you should also know your own gun. And at Blue Coat Arms Company, we have the $65 field strip and inspection.
We'll field strip it, clean what needs cleaned, and do a full inspection, muzzle to magwell.
Then we give you a next day prioritized report. What needs attention now, what can wait, and what's just keep an eye on it.
And if you decide to move forward with any of the recommended work, that $65 applies as a down payment toward the final bill.
Low risk and high clarity.
Links in the description, or just message us and we'll get you on the books.
All right, y'all. History defeats mythology, at least most of the time.
And education beats sound bites every time.
So remember, no matter your era,
We got your six.
mute. Mic check. 1, 2. Hey. Fourth try. We are here. And yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks, folks.
Hey, I mean, it only took us 4 tries to get the correct microphone plugged in.
I say.
It's also very low. Hold on.
Between kids and shop work and theater, which you guys have heard about off and on in the mic checks, and yeah, it's
been a time.
It's been something else.
Not a necessarily fun time, just it's been a time.
Yeah. But hey, if you are listening to this and you have stayed around this long, bonus nugget. We are looking at doing a Facebook Live or a school live on the school platform soon, within the next week or two, because, yeah, things are finally starting to slow down for us, and we want to give back to you guys who have supported us and have stuck around. So be on the lookout for that. Okay, bye. All right. Well, fuck you too. While that is true. Sorry, I lost my place. While that is true. But fuck. So, we move on to the next one. It was actually used.
And so here's the... So here's the part that matters more than any single example that we have given so far.
The founders were not cavemen staring at a musket like it fell out of the sky.
We messed that up.
We did. It's okay.
I'm just going to take your line and keep going.
That's fine.
They were Enlightenment... Jerk.
Sorry.
How dare you? We'll strip it, clean what needs cleaned, and do a full inspection. Sorry for when you have to edit this later.
Whatever.
We'll field strip it,